Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, guests. Do you know what our state bird is? Anybody?
Well,
The American goldfinch. Do you know what our state flower is? Coast rhododendron. How about, did you know we have a state fossil? Anybody? Ideas? Columbian mammoth. But more on him in a minute. You know, I think our state bird and our state flower are very mundane. I mean, goldfinch, it's a common bird. It's pretty, okay, it's pretty. But it's all over the country. And it's really just not, you know, representative of the Northwest. And I've given it a lot of thought. What we should have. And the only thing I can come up with is the spotted owl. Now, the spotted owl would probably never make it because it's so controversial. Anybody in the logging business hates those devils. Everybody else probably loves them. So anytime you try to talk about using it as a state bird, you have a huge fight. And rhododendrons? My mother-in-law grows them in her garden. What kind of a state flower is that? Colorado. Now that state has a state flower. The Colorado blue columbine. It's native to the state. We have rhododendrons. Maybe the yellow balsam leaves that grow out here in the shrub steppe would be good. Now, the state fossil, I think that's great. The Columbian mammoth, Columbia, that implies Washington. Mammoth, it's the largest land mammal ever to walk on North American continent. I think that's a good one. It was named back in 1988, largely through the efforts of a elementary school. A few other state icons. You know where our state amphibian is? The Pacific tree frog. That's good. That's our most common frog. Our state insect is the green darner dragonfly. That's good. That's a cool insect. That's a sexy insect. If it was the state fish, it'd probably be the great white shark. That's a cool insect. It's not exclusively in the Northwest, though. State mammal. We have one. You know what it is? The orca. I think that's a great one. Although Alaska has a lot more orcas. Did you know that there was an effort to get the state mammal named as the mountain beaver? The mountain beaver is an animal about the size of a muskrat. It lives in the Cascades, in Washington, Oregon, a little bit of California. And I don't think it would work because the mountain beaver is not a rodent, not a rabbit. It's its own class. And they have this particular lifestyle where they run their food through their body twice. Now, I'm not going to explain about that, but think about it. And I imagine when it comes time to name that as our state mammal, people it wouldn't pass the yuck test. Our state gem, petrified wood. That's good. We have a lot of it, but wouldn't it be great if it was the Ellensburg blue agate? This one is great. You'll probably know what our state vegetable is. Walla Walla onion, which shows the same kind of thinking that went into naming the state bird for Rhode Island, the Rhode Island red chicken, and that's true. We even have a state grass. It's appropriately the blue bunch wheatgrass, which grows out here in the shrub steppe. Montana named it its state flower. Now I'm going to go out on a limb and propose that we create a class for the state invertebrate. Now I know insects are invertebrates, but there's so many of them, they're separate. Let's have one. We'll have a competition between the west side and the east side. I know what the west side would pick. I can guarantee it would be the gooey duck, which is a giant clam with a big fleshy neck, and that's, I'm sure, what they would pick. I propose for the east side the giant Palouse earthworm. There is such a thing. It's a native earthworm. Most of our worms, by the way, are aliens from other continents. But out here in the very deep, rich soils of the Palouse, these earthworms live. And they can burrow down to about 3 meters when it gets real hot in the summer. They were first discovered in 1897 near Pullman, Washington. When they discovered them, they said they were up to 3 feet long. They smelled like lilies, and they spit for self-defense. Well, we didn't hear much about them for 100 years, and then in 1897, they found some, in 2005, they found some over near Moscow, Idaho. It turns out that the great size, the lily smell, the defensive spitting was all exaggerated, but they were pretty good size. They're a good foot long, and they want to name them as endangered species. Now they get into the same problem probably that the spotted owls do. Can you imagine those Palouse farmers having to confront a government bureaucrat who tells them they can't plow because of an endangered worm? So I don't think it's going to happen. But wouldn't it be nice if WSU, Washington State University, got rid of cougars for their mascot, called themselves the WSU Fighting Worms, and they could play the Oregon State Mountain Beavers?